Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Asim. I'm working as DevOps engineer. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can set up the high availability of Eureka server, and I'm going to show you how it's going to be possible to show you in this video. I highly recommend to watch this video till end. So let's begin. I've already created a repository with the name Terraform version 12 and navigate to this repository. I've already created one um, folder or directory, you can say that, and in that particular directory, I've set up a particular VPC, and that VPC we are going to launch our Eureka server. So, as I told you in my previous video, I've already set up Eureka server and post it to my Docker repository on Docker Hub, which is publicly available. And this is the service pdbsports.cloudgeeks.ca we are going to register with. So what I'm going to do is to simply, navigate to this Terraform version 12, simply download this zip, or you can simply clone it with HTTPS because it is the public repository, so you have all the right, to clone the repository or download the zip. So this zip is I guess 11 MB plus, so you can download the zip, and we are going to use the Terraform for the deployment because it is going to be easy. Okay, it is more than I guess, yeah, 15 MB. So we are done with it. What I'm going to do is to simply cut paste to my desktop for your convenience, and okay, remove the one previously. So guys, let's begin. What I'm going to do is I'm going to extract this Terraform zip folder, and from that I'm going to simply uh, copy this Netflix VPC, which I've created for you guys, and because it is a lot more convenient, and I highly recommend that it is going to be a fun if you use the Terraform, so your learning capability, the DevOps is going to be definitely increased, and you know how to set up the infrastructure and all the relevant stuff. Okay, navigate to VPC Netflix. So in that, simply navigate to AWS. In that, we have environment. Press tab. So I've created three files. Which are relevant to Terraform, and I'm going to first of all initialize, do the Terraform init, and it is going to download the uh, plugins for the relevant modules as I'm using the Windows. So it is going to be in that dot hidden directory dot Terraform. Let me show you that as well. So what it does, it created a dot Terraform, and in that it's going to download the relevant module. As far as the Route53 script is concerned, let me open this in with the studio. I'm going to show you that I've created a script which we are going to use for the high availability. And if I navigate to my desktop, Netflix, and I'm going to open this file. Okay, select a folder. I guess I should go for this one. So I want to show you one file which I've created with regard to the Route 53 HA. What it is, actually it is a bash script that we are going to use, and you can use that um, uh, to update your Route 53, and we are going to set up the private hosted zone. So what this script is going to do, that it is going to update your Route 53 entry, and we are going to set up our private hosted zone in AWS, uh, and the URL of that particular uh, hosted zone with this subdomain, which we are going to register with the Route 53. So let's see, our modules are loaded. So I'm going to use the Terraform apply command, that what we are going to deploy as far as the VPC and EC2 instance are concerned. So I've just use the Terraform apply command. You can go for the Terraform plan and see what it is going to do. So what it is going to do, that it is going to create public private subnet and other relevant stuff. So okay, and I guess I've also shown you one thing. Once it's deployed, the security, you have to update the security of that particular instance. So I always go for the security high, even in your test environment as well. So let's see our deployment as far as the VPC is started. So this is the dev VPC we are going to create, and what it is going to do, it is going to also set up the EC2 instance for us. And if I open another tab or navigate to this EC2 dashboard, let this tab to the other side, and we are going to use the Route 53, and in that Route 53, which is the DNS service provided by AWS, and I highly recommend to use this service. So in this, I'm going to create a hosted zone, and that particular hosted zone is going to be private hosted zone, and I'm going to create this hosted zone, and I'm going to call this cloudgeeks.ca.local. So click on create hosted zone, and click the private hosted zone. So provide this URL. You can use your domain.local. I always use local or private or whatever, to just make sure that you should be comfortable that what your actual domain, which is going to be on public hosted zone, and your local or private domain should be look like with a different name, which is in a private hosted zone. So if you give the same name, although it is going to work, but it is going to be a lot more confusing for you to, make the difference between, sometime you make entries and you just confuse yourself. So it is better to use something like at the end of the URL to give this. So I want to show you that currently our VPC in the deployment state, and the region is going to be the US East 1. And as far as the VPC ID is concerned, let me just navigate to my VPC, and the ID is this uh, D99 at the end. Okay, this is the one. Oops. US East 1, I've clicked the wrong button. So I'm going to create a private hosted zone here. So our hosted zone cloud geek ca.local is created, and in that particular in that particular private hosted zone, what I'm going to do is to create a record, and it is going to be the simple routing. And in that particular a record, I'm going to define simple. Click on define simple record, and let's say I'm going to create one service, and I'm going to call this particular service. First of all, I'm going to give the URL to the Eureka service. We don't have to give any URL for the service, so I'm going to call this Eureka server. Okay, So the A record is going to be the private IP of this cloudgeeks.ca. Ignore the A, I mean just and I spin up these different tagging. So simply remove this server. Okay, so this is the service, and I'm going to select cloudgeeks.ca Eureka server. So the private IP of this is the one I'm going to show you. And as far as the auto update of Route 53 high availability, I'm going to show you that how it is going to be done. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to put the private IP address of this particular server. I'm going to create record. So if I okay, navigate to the security groups. So in this security group, every traffic by default I make this highly secure. So traffic is uh, allowed to every one. I mean, to the whole of the world is blocked. So if you click here, so currently you just do menu stuff to update the security group, edit the inbound rules, and okay, reference. Okay, traffic is actually allowed on this. I guess I forget that I've changed some of the setting. Okay, that's fine. So this stuff is okay. This is the reference. No, reference is there, so I have to update this reference security group, which is actually attached to that particular EC2 instance. So simply you can select, I mean, uh, my IP and my IP for security, and although you can select anywhere as well, but I'm going to select my IP, so port 80 is going to be available um, on my IP address. So if I gave this elastic IP as well. So if I click this and paste it here, so currently, as I told you that we don't have any server running here, and what I'm going to do is to simply, first of all, SSH into this server, and as far as the keys are concerned, I've also provided the PAM key to you guys as well. So simply navigate to the secret section, and Eureka server key is available for you guys. So you don't have to worry about creation, make keys, and you don't have to worry about regarding the access. So simply use that particular key, which is already set up in a way that you should be able to access the server anyway. So I'm going to SSH into this particular EC2 instance, and Amazon Linux is set up, so default user is EC2-user, and simply click this, copy this public IP address. So I'm going to paste it here. So by default, what I've done that I've set up the Docker installation by default, so you don't even have to install the Docker. The service of Docker is going to be available if you do systemctl status Docker. So you see Docker is running. So simply what you have to do is to make this instance a running server. Simply use this command, which I'm going to show you. Navigate to QuickBooks 2018, and from here simply navigate to the Docker repository, which is also a public repository in Docker. I have set up the Eureka server, and we are going to simply run this command, and this is going to be this become as a Eureka server. So, which is going to pull this image Eureka server from my Docker Hub repository, which is publicly available. So it is not going to prompt me for the password. So it is giving me error because I've not created the Eureka network. So it is going to prompt me an error. So in fact, let me show you that as well. So Docker ps-a. So what I'm going to do is to simply remove this container. So you should also do the same stuff, just not do the copy paste. I mean, we don't need any network here because we are going to access our service from not from the same instance, but we are going to launch. We have already launched separate EC2 instance for our service, which is going to register with this one. So let me do one thing as well, docker ps-a. Okay, so I'm going to rerun that particular command by simply network, because we have not any, we don't actually set up any custom Docker network. So just simply run it. And if I do docker ps-a, our server is going to be available on this particular port 80, so you don't have to do much. So you have to wait for a while. So you see our Eureka server is up and running. So this is the advantage of creating a Eureka server in Docker. So you can use the ECR to push your images or to the private repositories, and you can pull and those images when needed. So you can quickly deploy the Eureka server. So now what I'm going to do is to click on the EC2 instance, okay, and I'm going to click on the PTB Sports service, and what I'm going to show you that I'm going to also SSH into this particular machine, and for this I've already created the PAM keys. So navigate to the AWS modules, secrets, and we have our Eureka service key is available here. So I'm going to open one separate shell here. Just let me zoom in a bit and navigate to desktop and do SSH FNI Eureka service EC2 dash user. And now I'm going to copy this public IP of this machine as well. So put it here. So this is the also in this particular machine also Docker is up and running. If I do docker ps-a, so you see Docker is available. Let me do system status Docker. So you see service of Docker is there running active. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to run PTB Sports service, but as far as the service is concerned, I have to create a service. In that particular service, the URL of that particular service is going to be this one, which we have created, which is going to be the HTTP Eureka server cloud geeks and .ca.local. So for that, I'm going to show you that you have to simply navigate to the Docker, and we have to follow some steps. Okay, so I'm going to click on the Eureka service, and in that particular section we have Eureka service steps. What I'm going to do is to simply navigate to this URL, and I'm going to open this in another tab. Oops, copy is not done. So I'm going to create a service, like say I'm going to create new service. So definitely This service which I've set up is relevant or to the one EC2 instance. In that particular EC2 instance or particular host, we have registered our hosts and services in the same machine. But as the demo or the purpose of this demo is to show you the high availability of Eureka servers and how you can register the services in production environment, and you should be able to your services or your Eureka client should be able to access the Eureka server. So I'm going to create a one sample service. Let's call this mm, Dusra dot cloud geeks cloud geek ca dot logo. Okay, I'm going to copy paste this, and now in the description I can say that HA with Route53 and service discovery in VPC. Okay, so I'm going to remove this or local is enough, and I'm going to create one service here, put it web here, okay, and also add one more dependency which is going to be the client, as we are creating the Eureka discovery client. So these two dependencies should be the part of your services and our client. I'm going to click generate. So it is going to create one zip file, and I'm going to simply download this particular file and put it on my desktop. So, okay. Okay, what I'm going to do is to make sure that I'm going to extract this here, and I'm going to create one folder from which I can hold this original file. So I might need that. So in case of any mistake I've done, so I can retrieve it. So what I'm going to do is to simply open this in a separate folder. Okay, and this is the one which we are going to manipulate or do edit. So as far as the edit is concerned, if you go to the source main, you have to do just two things. Click on the application.java, and in sources section, um, click application.properties. So everything is already provided. So you have to, um, make this service. So simply copy this stuff, and I'm going to simply, remove the existing or edit, paste it here, and I'm going to select and do the spacing is concerned. So let's put these here. So all these annotations are in the right order. We are going to make this service or discovery client, and in application properties, you can run on any port. So here you have to provide the URL. I'm going to show you that what why creating the new service. So first of all, bring this into a right position, and okay. so this URL is going to be not Eureka server, as in previous videos, I've shown you guys I have created the custom Docker network, and that particular custom network DNS, which is a built-in DNS we are using, and for that it is going to work. But now what we are going to do is to simply give this URL to make this service available, and it is going to be the private host zone which we have created, and this is the URL we are going to give this. So it is going to be available in our in our VPC, and with regard to that, I want to show you that as well. So you see, I have already SSH into my Eureka server and Eureka service machine. So if you ping it, you will see that the IP which is coming, it is 10, 20, and this one is pingable. So what I'm going to do is to 1020 just update the security group as far as I'm going to, for the sake of this demo, I'm going to allow every traffic within this private site the range, and it is going to be allow all traffic from 1020, I guess. What is the range? 1020, yeah. So network is 10.20. Select this one, and this is less 16. Save rule, and you see, now I'm pinging. I'm able to ping, and the ICMP packets are now, not stopping. So every traffic is allowed within the VPC. So now what I'm going to do is also show you the ping on the on that particular EC2 instance, because it is now this private hosted zone as we provided the VPC. So this URL is resolving this name into IP address. So this is the DNS as far as the local DNS is done. So I provided this URL to this guy, and this part is done. So what I'm going to do is to simply just make sure that I'm going to create a zip of this and just dockerize it as I've shown you in my previous video. So this is the one which we have set up. So I'm going to make a zip of this, and I'm going to put it on my services on my service EC2 instance. So I'm going to use the MOBA xterm for uploading this zip file to this EC2 instance, and I'm going to simply copy the IP address of this. Okay, call this not PD sports. Okay, call this Dusra. Okay, so I'm going to copy this IP address, and I'm going to create a connection here, EC2 dash user, and I'm going to put the IP address here, Eureka dash. Okay. This is the PAM file which we are going to use, and let's try to access this. Once it's done, okay, we will see these directories, and what I'm going to do is to simply do sudo -i, and I'm going to upload this zip file to this EC2 instance. So you see in the progress bar, upload is started, now upload is done, and what I'm going to do is to simply do copy, and from home EC2 dash user I'm going to copy this dusra to my current local pwd, which is the present working directory. I'm going to unzip this one and dusra. Okay, so step in a way that I'm following the my video. So I'm going to simply navigate to this section, and I'm going to pull this uh, Maven image, which is available on the Docker Hub, which is actually the official image. I get this one by, instead of a PD sports, pull this Dusra. So what it is going to do is to this is going to create one jar file, and that from that particular jar file we are going to build our Docker image. So let it run. Um, okay, it's saying failure. What mistake we have done? Okay, is unable to find the file, and let me just update you on this one that I gave this wrong URL. cloudgeekc.local. So directory name is should be dot local. So let it run. It is going to create a jar file in .local, and once build is complete, we are going to set up our Docker image from the Docker file. So build is successful. What I'm going to do is to simply remove this wrong directory I've given. So there is no need for this, to be a part of our, you know, tutorial. So what I'm going to do is to make one directory in Docker, and in that and Docker, I'm going to create one target directory as well. So if I navigate to the target, sorry, and Docker and target. So I'm going to copy the file from the root dusra.local, and that we have target, and we have a jar file there, and I'm going to simply paste it here and simply rename it. So I'm going to move this, and I'm going to call this .jar. Okay, and so this name is set up. I'm going to create a Docker file here, and this file is going to be the one which I've already provided you guys, and in that particular file we are going to just simply provide this name. Okay, put it here, and I'm going to substitute this name with the one. Okay, let me save it. I'm going to copy this one just to make sure that everything is right. I'm going to simply um, do substitution here, and I'm going to um, do this globally and Dude. Let me put one slash here with this name. Okay, this is okay. So this part is done. What I'm going to do is to save this and do docker build hyphen t with the tag of this service. Okay, put a dot at the end of this, and okay, no such file. Okay, if I click here, okay, I have to put this, move this file, dusra to the target directory. Let me in the target directory. So I'm going to move this Docker file to the previous directory. Okay, so I'm going to move into the previous directory and I'm going to rerun that particular command. So it is going to build the image, and if I do docker images, see our image is available. What I'm going to do is to simply run this, do docker run dash dash name. The name I'm going to select is the same which I've set up, and okay, on the port, there is no need to give any okay port to this. Okay, and I'm going to give to run this in a daemon mode. Okay, and the image we are going to use this one as latest. Okay, I would like to push this image to Docker Hub as well, so you guys can able to see, able to pull this and able to practice about this. Okay, let's try to run it and see Docker ps-may. I'm continuously checking that I have to just make sure that everything is running, and I'm going to say and Docker logs -f, and I'm going to see the logs with regard to this service as well. So okay, seems like everything is fine, but we have to definitely check it. So this is our Eureka server running on this port, and you see our service is successfully registered with our with with our server. But things that why it is showing the PD sports, I forget to update this name. So definitely I'm not gonna do the stuff with regard to the, although URL is same, I forget the ptvsports.ca. So if the name is uh, the one which we have provided, so it is going to be show you the same name. So forget it. I hope you're able to understand that this EC2 instance is the one which we have is, let me show you that this is the EC2 instance running on separate EC2 instance, and it is registering itself with this Eureka server. And now what it is doing, it is using that particular private hosted zone DNS and able to resolve that particular DNS uh, with this private IP. So you see, we have successfully able to register our two machines uh, running on different EC2 instance. You see our I show you the name part as well. So our server is running on this IP address, and as far as our service is running on this IP address, which is inside the Docker container. So I've shown you guys this part as well. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can set up the high availability uh, in Eureka server. So if the Eureka server, which is running in this particular AZ, it is goes down, how it is going to be highly available. So if you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe my channel. Please wait for the last video, and I'm going to just make it very soon. I mean, just after this video, and make this available for you guys. Thank you. Have a nice day.